ready?
Yep.
What is this pipeline? The internet thinks it's a long tubular series of pipes, but I know better. This pipeline, it's a system of irrigation, irrigating students, irrigating people, as if they were nothing more than crude, worthless oil. It makes my blood boil. This pipeline that sends students out of school deposits them straight into the prison system. Do not pass 10th grade, do not collect your free education like Monopoly. We're monopolized into conformity. Kids conforming to classist ideals with a racist mindset, programmed to follow each other off the cliff, blindly trusting the sheep in front of them. Dominoes falling down into the segregated spots of their black and white numbered dots.
Racism. It's the basis of the capitalist classist, sexist society, where hate and oppression are the common propriety. Teaching a Caucasian history in a Caucasian school, in a Caucasian country, in a Caucasian state. I messed that up.
Keep going.
That's okay. Just hoping the color will get with the program. School is a tool, you know. But in school, they bury you in their lives until they burn up in anger. But if we're heated up enough and pressured hard enough for long enough, we'll turn into diamonds. Or at least I will. Teachers, they tell you to stand here, walk there, sit down, shut up. Don't think, just do that, like a school of fish. The shark snack. The shark, of course, is expulsion. Expulsion for the outsider. The one that's fishing for a purpose in the classroom. The one that goes left when nothing seems right, until he's right out of school where poverty rules and crack makes him drools, until he's swimming along with the others.
Both sides of the pipeline are equally filled with hate and oppression, pain with no progression, like livestock being shuffled around from one slaughterhouse to another. Animals doing time for their unknown crimes, ripped from their right to an education. And like those bright leaves on the trees in the windy fall season, it's the color brothers and the gays who all fall for no reason. But if it were me who committed some treason, we know that it'd just be considered displeasing. We're stuck in this system that's built to oppress all the poor, all the colored, all those society deems less.
Like little black Stu when he gets on the bus and the other kids whisper, he don't look like us. He sits in history and falls asleep, because little black Stu don't really care who sailed the ocean blue in 1942. And he's gonna get in trouble anyway. But Jack, who falls asleep in science and math too, just gets a warning. That's jacked up to me. Is it jacked up to you?
Education was first introduced into society, not as a priority, but a privilege for boys. Rich, white, all-American ideal little boys, who couldn't even begin to understand the complexity of the wrong they had just been handed. They had just been branded, in their minds the superior, tossed above so-called inferiors. But even when girls were granted the access, no matter what protest, the law insisted on its white-only public education. And when the law lifted, their tactics still existed just as twisted, as segregation shifted into its perpetual ugly position with its hateful mission, always ready to take aim and fire, to today, where even the schools proudly displaying their glossy new signs proclaiming equality and a quality education are still tainted with the past, only barely painted over to cover the slashes of the overcrowding, underfunding, and the targeting of all students who don't fit into the squeaky clean shoes of those same rich, white, all-American, ideal little boys and girls so many years ago.
Politics is the art of postponing a decision so it's no longer relevant. Don Cheadle from Red Tails. No longer relevant, like No Child Left Behind, where you kiss my behind if you think I'm gonna go through giving SROs overtime for sending brothers to do time for being late to school.
You know, the first thing I was taught about law enforcement was that they were the good guys, the one that guided us across the street when we were kids, the ones we'd go to if we got lost and asked for directions, the ones that were supposed to offer protection. So when I walked through the double doors to the school for the first time, the shine off of Sharon's badge was the sign of hope. And their stance made me feel secure, standing next to that crowded door filling with children and adolescents. The fact that we're still growing, they didn't respect this. Soon I seen a pipeline form and it looked like the four walls of my principal's old office. Their hands guiding me to their own personal concentration camp, where our concentrations on being popular, while they pop at us like beer cans being hit by pellets out of BB guns, where teachers care about salaries more than the malleable minds of youth that they can shape to be revolutionary. And you know what's scary is that our youth doesn't even know this. Now that we're on the subject, they expect us not to notice, but the No Child Left Behind Act was created by former POTUS Bush. But I still see children left behind every day playing in the bushes, trying to lift themselves up from tree limbs, breaking twigs off that bend at 90-degree angles, pretending to shoot bullets that go 90 miles per hour, just training themselves for the future. You know, the purpose of school was not so they can library walls and shoot you, but to train you to think in opposite angles, and the one that make parabolas that wavelength like lines on the graph paper of life. They get targeted and accused of causing and creating strife. They say 1% of the people in America have 40% of the wealth. They say we're 37th out of 190 countries in health. Why do we continue to look at life in equations? Because sometimes I feel like when I meet someone, we don't always create a relationship. In fact, we've been taught not to. Our teachers tell us not to talk to strangers, to stay inside our own little cages. We're taught in schools not to work together on tests, but sometimes in life, when they test you, you need as many people around you as possible. And sometimes in situations, they teach you to be civil when the terms cause you to be naturally hostile. What they teach you in school is what they want you to learn. The security is more like a private army. The first thing I was taught about law enforcement was that they were the good guys. But when I get older, next time I walk through those double doors to see my child off to school, I'll step in for pushing my child into the pipeline.
Right.